Hello beautiful warriors, this is Kachira and welcome to the Seamless Yogance. The goal of today's practice is to make each shape transition into the next seamlessly. When choreographing this Yogance, I envisioned a breakdancer, how their bodies morph seamlessly from one shape to the next. I'm using linear postures here to see if we can move from one shape to the other without any hesitation or doubt. One beautiful, smooth, and seamless dance. That's the goal today. The way to find this texture in your practice is to keep the breath smooth and rhythmical, to keep the body alive with resistance and activity, and to use the floor to help you move smoothly and transition your weight into the next shape. These are just a couple of the concepts that we're gonna talk about during this Yogance, so it's best to get to it. But before we do, remember that what I offer here is simply an outline, a loosely structured dance that you can flow and move through in awareness. Modify as needed. I'll give you a lot of options as well. Always respect what the body has to say. So as we work, bring your attention into the space of the moment and let the practice flow as needed. Let's get started. The Seamless Yogance is going to be a 3-part Yogance. So we're going to learn part 1 and then part 2, put 1 and 2 together, then learn part 3 and put the whole dance together. I separate it up like this so that we can concentrate on one piece of the dance at a time so we don't get overwhelmed. We're going to be learning this combination on the right and on the left side. So let's start on the right first. We're going to start at the top of our mat, feet hip distance apart. Make sure that you stand nice and tall in a clean Tadasana mountain pose position. The tailbone is just slightly tucked. The pubis is lifted up nice and high to get rid of this little curve in the back. The belly button is pushing in towards the spine. This whole middle section, core, pelvic floor is activated nice and strong so that you have a strong base and foundation to work on. The feet are separated and wide, pushing into the floor. Crown of the head is lifted up nice and high, and you're going to be very careful about not kinking back into the neck. You always want to keep a good, strong spine. Think length and width. We want to create space in the body, and another way to create space in the body is the breath. Continue to breathe, and use your breath as the GPS to the movement. Let it guide the movement. So never forget about the breath. So, Tadasana position, right side, which means we're going to start turning towards the right. But before we do, we're going to do this beautiful little flowing action to start bringing in that seamless flow or that seamless feeling into the choreography. Basically, it's just a beautiful winding, loose, organic circle with the tips of the fingers just leading towards the right. I like to think of this as very breathy. I like the swooshing kind of sound, and then feeling it through my entire body, even through my feet and my knees, but particularly through the solar plexus to the center of my body. Yes, even getting my hips into it. So let it flow however it moves in your body. There's no right or wrong to these movements. They're your own expression. So a couple of these to the right. Once we kind of start to feel this flow, the final one is going to take us all the way around as we come up high on the toes and continue to pivot until our legs can no longer go. So we're facing the other side of the mat. My right leg is over my left. From there, that little semicircle is going to take my hands off onto the right side of my body. And this front leg, this right leg, I'm going to pivot onto that foot as the back leg, the left leg, comes out, faces where we started, the front of the mat, and I'm going to land in a high lunge posture. Now this sounds very complicated, but it's actually not. So once you got into this twisted little bit, put your hands down to help you out. That back leg is going to come out as you rotate and pivot on the right foot. The back leg, left leg is going to shoot back. You're in a low lunge here with the right knee bent in front, right hip back, suck the lower belly in, drop the shoulders down away from the neck, and then rise up into high lunge. Beautiful. Dipping into that front knee, feeling the weight evenly distributed through the 2 feet, and lifting through the pubis nice and tall. Let's just do that action once again. So, top of the mat. Big circles to the right. Maybe on the third one, you start to begin to pivot on both feet. Settle the hands down onto the right side. Pivot onto the right foot as the left foot shoots back. Boom. And you're in that beautiful high lunge. Now you'll notice that I'm kind of playing with how my weight is balancing. Big tip here, you want to land with your feet a little bit staggered away from each other, so not in the same line, not where you have more balance. And you want to keep the balance on the ball of the front foot. If you keep the balance on the outer edge, you're going to fall out to the side. Another tip is, keeping the weight on the ball of the front foot also aligns with the pubis, which is the core center of your body. So if the ball of the foot is pushing into the foot and the core pubis is pulling upwards, you're going to be locked in solid. And then remember to evenly distribute the weight from the front foot to the back foot. Beautiful. From there, you're going to lift up through the pubis as you press into that front foot. Lift up the back leg into a low or high arabesque. But what we don't want to do is dip the body forward. So if that means that your leg has to stay lower to keep the integrity of the chest up high, that's a better move. And if you're not ready to play with balance yet, if just shifting the weight is enough, go ahead and just slide the foot up as you reach up high through the crown of the head. What we don't want to see is this kind of action with the body. Remember, we're always trying to create space and length, height. You want to finish this practice feeling 10 feet taller than when you started. So, high lunge, coming up high into arabesque. From there, keep rooting through the bottom of the foot, bringing the back leg, left leg forward into a passe, a parallel passe, or it can be turned out, or it can be on the floor, or it can be coupé right by the ankle bone. It can be really anywhere you want. What's most important here, again, is not the shape of the pose, but more so the integrity of the posture, the way that you're working through it, that seamless flow. I just do this action because that's the action that I'm feeling. I'm feeling my foot digging into the floor, that root to rise as I'm rising up when the breath is smooth. From there, we're going to continue to extend the left leg forward with that same seamless, breathy action. Again, it can go low. It can just be the arms maybe, or you can grab the foot, you can bring it up high. You can do this however you want, but the action has to be seamless. If it's not seamless, you're probably pushing beyond the means and getting into the ego mind that we talked about in the very beginning of class. So again, high lunge. I hope you're doing and practicing this with me. Coupé into passe. Extend through the front. Use your arms however you wish. Back into passe. But one tip here, when the leg extends front, if the bottom knee is bending, you've gone too high. So if this is happening to you, you've gone too high. Keep it low. Suck in the lower belly. Bring it right back into the passe. Take it right back, all the way back into the arabesque, and then bend through the front knee as you step it back, nice and long. Right back into that high lunge. Whoo! Yes, and then bring the back foot in. That's going to be section 1 because there's a lot going on. Remember, the focus of this yogance is a seamless, breathy action. So don't rush this. You want to feel the length through this movement. Let's try all this on the left side. I actually might add a little bit more if it looks good. Okay, left side. Just take that breath into this mountain pose position. Good, arms up. You can bend your knees slightly if you'd like to soften through the knees. Good, little circle through the left. Remember our wind circle. Good, now let's go ahead and pivot on both feet. So come up high, rotate to the left, bring the hands on the outside of the body. Now, we're on the left side, which means everything reverses. The base leg is going to be the left leg, the front leg, the free leg, the shooting back leg is going to be the back leg, the right leg. So we want to finish in a left-legged high lunge. So go ahead and pivot on the left, shoot the right back, and then find the high lunge. Again, the points that we talked about, weight shifting evenly distributed through the feet, lifting up through the pubis. I like to bend my back knee just a little bit so I can actually tuck my tailbone in just a touch and find more length through my pelvic floor area. Bending through that front knee. Up nice and high. Take that breath as you seamlessly bring that right leg up into the back arabesque. Good. Bring the right leg in to the inside of the knee. Passe, parallel, maybe turned out. Extend it to the front, développé. Right leg extends. Right back into that passe. Lift up taller. Take the breath as you step it back into the high lunge. Let's add one more move because we can. So from there, that left hip is pushing back. You want the hips to be square. Go ahead and settle that back heel to find warrior two. The outer edge of the right foot is pushing away from the front. Again, distributing the weight evenly through the feet. Dipping in, widening. Yes, good. And then go ahead and circle the arms into the low lunge, bringing the left hip back once again. And then for now, just step the back foot forward. Find the forward fold. And rise up. Whew, beautiful. So let's try this on the right side and just see how it flows a bit with the breath. I'm going to kind of show you. Let me fix my mats here a bit. All right. This is kind of what we're going for, this seamless, flowy type of breathy movement. You can always play a little bit, dance. I love that before you actually transition. Yeah, so I want you to take your time to explore the breath. Yes, this is a slow moving paced yogance. I also want you to explore those wavy in-betweens through the shoulders, through the neck, through the mouth, through the toes, through the knees. So it's not just that we're hitting postures, we're actually flowing through them. Think of this whole thing as like that beautiful slow motion seamless wave video that you see where the wave just curls under, and it has that beautiful texture. It's so smooth, it's so silky. That's what we're going for. So at this point, we're going to pause the video. You're just going to get this instilled in your body memory on the right and left side. Really listen to your breath as you work. This is super important, particularly in this yogance. We'll come back and learn part 2. Let's continue with section 2. It gets a little bit more challenging because we get lower to the floor, which means there needs to be more breath, more push, more resistance. But let's just do it and we'll see when we get there. So we finished in that right-legged high lunge on the right side, if you remember, okay? From there, remember we did ba 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 ba, and then we went into warrior 2. Now let me remind you here, when you're warrior 2, you still want to keep the integrity of the spine. I don't want this to happen, this arching, strange thing. So really make sure that you lift and you extend and you pull up the pubis to the belly button. From there, we cartwheeled our arms to the floor to find that low lunge. The right hip is back, the pubis is tucked in, and I'm pushing through my feet, right? I'm not just melting into the floor like this. There's actually a lot of resistance happening. You're going to settle your hands down as you push out of the shoulder rolls, push up through the belly, and bring the right knee to your nose. Beautiful. If you can't talk there, then you're probably doing this, and you're actually pushing through the shoulders and the neck. You're doing that versus this. So it's a different kind of action. You want there to be length in the neck, even though you are squeezing. So there's a difference between that and this. There shouldn't be a lot of pressure or tension through the shoulder area. From there, right knee to nose, you're going to extend the right leg up into a 3-legged down dog. I like to even elevate my bottom heel, the left heel, to find more length and more push and more space. Top leg is going to cross over the bottom leg, so right over the left, and you're going to place the outer edge of the right foot on the floor as you pivot onto both outer edges. Right arm is down, pushing out of the shoulder, left arm is up, equal weight distributed through the feet and the hands, and you're seamlessly going to walk around. Keep it wide. That's the trick. as you rotate through the bottom of the hand and find a flat top bridge. Yes. Ooh, that's super challenging already enough. But to keep it smooth and seamless is a whole other thing. What has to happen in order to do that? Don't sink. That's the key. Walk, really place your feet into the floor. Don't rush, don't sink, push out of the shoulder. Keep the hips up high, keep the breath alive. Ooh, if you start doing that, it's not gonna be seamless at all. And really watch as your hand pivots. If you're feeling a lot of pressure in the wrist, you're probably not distributing the weight evenly through the feet and the hands, and you're probably not breathing either. It's probably doing a lot of that. Whew. So as you see, a lot to keep in mind. So once again, we had that three-legged down dog, right? We crossed it in front of the bottom leg. We picked up the left hand as we started to walk and pivot. Then that back leg, the right leg, cut through as we place both hands down, readjust it so that the fingers are facing my heels if possible, pushing out and up. Ooh, that feels great. From there, I want you to kind of move through this a bit. Waves. Good. Now go ahead and carry your booty back, push away from the floor. Keep the butt lifted. If you can, pick up the feet and then slowly sit down. This is section 2. Woo! Yes. Yes, yes. Let's do the left, shall we? Now, if you need a little bit more space, you can always do this with your fingertips on the floor. Also, if you have weak wrists and they hurt, that's another way to do it. So let's go to the high lunge on the left leg. Beautiful. Okay, we did the warrior 2. We cartwheeled the arms to that low lunge. From there, the left leg came up and through to the sky. Good. Left leg cut in front of the right. Pivot onto the outer edges of the feet. The side plank, right arm comes up. Make a lot of space through the neck and the chest. Let the chest and the hips lead. Think of it like that. Good. Go ahead and carry it all the way around. If you don't have space, when you arrive, just walk your hands back, right? Make it work. Good. Take a moment, move a little bit, relax through the neck, squish the booty back. If you want, you can go back and forth a couple times. If you've already got this down and you want to crisscross the legs, go ahead and then settle everything down. Beautiful. Go ahead and pause the video. Try this section and then we'll come back and put sections 1 and 2 together. Alright, here we go, you guys. 1 and 2 together. Let's see if we can go really slow on the first side and then speed up the rhythm on the second side so it starts turning more into dance rather than exercise. Alright, top of the mat, right side first. 2 breaths, please. Woo! Good. Arms up on the inhale. You can come up on the toes if you want to feel a little bit more length. Little swooshes and sways and wind breezes to the right. Good. Let's go ahead and pivot that baby halfway around. Keep it going as the back leg comes through and shoots back into a right-legged high lunge. Move a little bit in the high lunge. I want to add a little bit of flow here. Why not? Good. Transition the weight forward to passe. Extend front. Back to passe. Play with the arms. Extend back into arabesque, which I believe we missed actually. Don't miss that. Good. Step it back. Warrior 2. Good. Maybe a reverse warrior if that feels good. Yes. Before you unwind. Low lunge. Knee to nose, please. Extend the leg back. Right leg cuts forward. Left leg follows and starts the walk. Left arm nice and high. Come on and pivot. Good. Go ahead and find that reverse bridge, that flat top. Beautiful. Move in it a little bit. Swoosh the booty back and lower down into an L seated position. Whew. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and try it on the left side. 2 breaths on the left, please. Remember, smooth, slow, seamless. Let's find our wind to the left. Every time can feel a little different. Don't be afraid to explore the movement. Good. Go ahead and pivot to the left. Bring the right leg all the way around and shoot it back. Left-legged high lunge. Play a little bit in this high lunge. Whew. Beautiful. Arabesque. Take up that back leg. Bring it through. Passe. Extended front. Passe again. Don't rush. Take it back into arabesque. And then set it back wide. Warrior two. Flow a little bit there. Cartwheel the arms. Bring that left knee to the nose. Squeeze it in. Take it back. Left leg up high. Left leg cuts front. Right leg follows. We walk all the way around. Keep pushing. Good. Find that bridge. Play a little bit. Swoosh that booty back. Find the push out of the shoulders and slowly lower down. Wonderful. I love this sequence. Go ahead and pause the video. Put 1 and 2 together. We'll come back and learn section 3. There might be 4 sections. I'm not sure yet. As anticipated, we're going to do this in 4 sections because I really want us to focus individually on each piece, even if they're short. There's a lot of details that I think are often missed over when we rush through sequences, so we're really going to take our time today. We just finished on the right side, seated, with the legs long. From here, you're going to take that forward bend, relax through it, wave through it, do what you need to do. Then, you're going to let the hands kind of slide off of the tops of the legs as you point the feet and you roll back through the lower belly, vertebrae by vertebrae. As the arms start coming up, I want you to start swimming. You can swim low, you can swim high to low, but really engaging this lower belly core, keeping a lot of length through the neck. You can even cross and go side to side. This seamless, watery movement that I was talking about. Again, if you can't talk comfortably, it's probably because you're overdoing or over-crunching or over-holding, so make sure to keep the breath alive. If it helps you in your lower back to put your hands right underneath your lower back, your sacrum, and do it like this, by all means, I'm loving that as well. Good. From there, go ahead and extend nice and long. Keep the feet 1 inch off the floor, and since we're on the right side, we're going to roll to our right, keeping both the arms, the hands, and the feet elevated. We don't want them to drop. As we roll, make it seamless. I put this here on purpose, so I don't want it to be this. Right? I don't want you to use momentum to roll you. I want you to use the breath and the movement. And P.S. you are going onto the belly, which means you're going to have a little bit more difficult time breathing. So really take a nice deep inhale before you roll and exhale as you land on the belly. Shh, it's delicate. Yes, as you arrive, reach up nice and tall, lift through the chest, swim a little bit more, take a stretch if that feels good for you. Good, bring the hands by the chest, push the tops of the feet down, lift through the lower belly so that this is nice and long through the lower back so you're not crunching. Roll the shoulders back. Find an up dog, and then push up and over to find a long, beautiful, seamless down dog. Another version of this can very easily be, you're moving through here, nice and low, extend the arms, go ahead and find yourself on your belly. If you'd like, you can find a Sphinx pose, which just means that the forearms are on the floor in a 11 position, thumbs are meeting each other or looking at each other, and then from there, push up and over. As you see, I'm very active. You can find a child's pose. Lengthy, breathly, seamless, fluid. Find in all fours, tuck the toes under, and let that take you to the down dog. In a down dog, keep the ribs up, don't drop, don't sink. We want to avoid that. Good, and then for now, let's just walk our feet forward and roll up because it's going to continue, but I wanted to do this little section first. Let's go to left. Yes, I love this yogance because it really forces you to work clean, intelligently, disciplined, without rushing. So left side, we finished in the seated L, which is what I like to call it because it's an L shape. We're going to take a moment to fold. As you fold, be sure to lengthen through the spine. We don't want no crunching. Remember, we're always looking for length and space. Hands slide through the top of the legs as the feet point. Everything connects and lengthens. We swim for 3, 2, 1. We're going to go ahead and turn to the left side since we're on our left. Remember to breathe. Lift, float, feel light. Good. And then whichever way you want, find your way to an up dog of sorts, Sphinx pose, and eventually a down dog. Take a breath. Good. Walk or jump to the front of the mat. And then roll all the way up. Ooh, this section is absolutely stunning and so good for your body. So go ahead and pause. Try out section 3. We'll come back with 1, 2, and 3 together, and then we'll learn the final section. All right, let's keep vibing through this. Let's see what we have so far. Let's do it from the top to what we know, right and left side together, and then you'll try it out on your own. And I want to add, don't forget to keep exploring this in all sorts of different ways. If new movements come, if different versions of what we're doing come, go for it. You know, this is, like I always say, this is just the outline of the coloring book. You're coloring it in with your own flavor. That's what makes it fun. All right, right side, 2 breaths. Let's put 1, 2, and 3 together. Okay. Wind to the right. Let's go ahead and pivot. I'll find you in the high lunge. You know this now. Yes, right leg and high lunge. Good. Dance in that high lunge just a bit. Let's find that arabesque. The passe. The extension forward. Back to the passe. Back to the arabesque. Step it wide. Warrior 2. Let's reverse it. Why not? Good. Cartwheel. Right knee to nose. Right leg up high. Right leg crosses the bottom. Walk it all the way around. Find that little flat top bridge. Move through it. Dip the booty. Set it down. And fold. Take a moment here. Roll it back up. Roll it all the way down. Take your swim for 3, 2, and 1. Flip it to the right side. I'll find you in the down dog. Go ahead and walk it forward or jump it. Rise all the way up. Give me a breath. We'll start to the left side. Wind it, wind it to the left. Spin it, turn it. Left-legged high lunge. Good, go ahead and play in the lunge. Remember to breathe, you guys. Good. Press it forward, arabesque, passe. Try different arm movements, extend, passe. Take it back, step it back. Warrior 2. Cartwheel, left knee to nose, left leg up high. Cut the top leg front and walk it around. Right arm comes up. Find that flat top, or maybe at this point you want to find a full bridge. Yes. Feels great wherever you are. Dip that booty back and fold forward. Ooh. Beautiful. Roll it down and swim it. Get there smooth. Maybe even here you want to take a plow pose or shoulder stand. So this is just different ways to keep elevating. Keep expanding. Good. Roll it to the left. Smooth, seamless. Maybe even bow pose here if you want to keep adding. Good. Up dog. And down dog. Walk it forward. Roll it up. Finish nice and strong. Take a breath, let it stack. Ooh, beautiful. Go ahead and pause. Do that because repetition is key. Consistency and repetition is what builds a solid practice. And then we'll come back and learn the final section. All right, so we finished in the down dog. We're now going to step forward and roll up. We finished in the down dog. We're going to keep going on the right side. So because we're on the right side from the down dog, you're just going to go ahead and sit your right booty on the floor as you pivot through your feet and find a seated twist towards the left. So if you notice, I'm going to do that again. All I did was from the down dog, kind of push forward into a plank a little bit so I can get the outer edges of my foot down, sat my booty down as I picked up my left hand, kept my feet one on top of the other, and then go ahead and bent my left knee over the right and twisted towards the left. My right elbow is pushing into my left knee, and I'm keeping my spine nice and long. Oh, the sun is shining in my face. Everything is good. I'm twisting towards my left shoulder. Feels great. Okay, from here, you're going to keep your legs as they are. This long leg is going to be your base support leg. You're going to pivot through the toes or through the ball of the foot, almost like you're going to keep going in the same direction. But instead of going into a plank, you're just going to let this front bended leg unwind. I'm going to find this gorgeous hip stretch. So my left knee is bent. My right leg is long, and I'm just moving through my hip a little bit here. Good. Let's just stay here for a bit and feel this out. Wonderful. From there, my back leg, the right leg is going to lift up off the floor and come traveling all the way around until I'm seated with my legs crossed. From there, I'm going to pick up my spine nice and long, lift through my pubis, and then come onto my knees. Unfold into an all fours position, tuck the toes under, push out of the shoulders, lift the knees up a little bit off the floor, and then walk my hands back until I'm in a low squat. I'm going to take 2 steps forward in a low squat. 1, 2. Lift the heart just a little bit, push into the feet, and rise up into Tadasana. And that completes the whole yogance. Isn't that fun? So let's try the other side. Remember, we went from the down dog. So we're doing the left side now, which means that we're just going to pivot onto the left hip. Keep the feet right where they are. Pick up the right arm. Right leg bends over the left. Spin towards the right side. Left elbow pushes into the right knee. Find that beautiful twist. Keep the shoulders away from the ear, lift the chest. Good, you keep turning in the same direction, the right. Keep the legs exactly as they are. It's gonna feel awkward. It's gonna feel like the way you don't wanna go. And then push up and settle the right leg down into the hip opener. Right knee is bent, left leg is long. I'm sitting up as high as I can. You can even double stag it. Go through this position a couple times to get into those hips. Beautiful. Pigeon pose. So from there, that back leg, left leg is going to rise up. Try to keep the chest up. So this is the same feeling as the arabesque at the very beginning, but we're lower, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You can absolutely keep your hands down. If your leg doesn't come up, that's better than doing this. You don't want to dip, right? So even if it just has to drag and you have to assist it, but things are happening, right? You're trying to lift the leg up. That is good. You're doing the work, okay? So lift, find the cross-legged position, sit up nice and tall. Good. Use the pubis, maybe even no hands, to transition into all fours. If you need to bring your knees and toes in a little bit, you can. Push out of the shoulders, lift through the pubis, come up a little bit off the knees, walk back without too much swaying or movement or salsaing of the hips. Good. Go ahead and take 2 steps forward. Again, seamless. You guys don't make it crazy. And then rise all the way up. And there we are. That is section 3. Go ahead and pause the video, rewind if you need to see it again, And then we'll come back and put the whole thing together. All right, you've made it. So now it's time to see what it is that we've created here together, the seamless yogance. Let's do it nice and slow, right and left side. Then we'll talk about it. The right side, one breath, please. Let's wind and wind to the right. All the way around. I'll find you in the high lunge on the right side. You know this, so I'm just going to keep the descriptions brief, just as reminders. Dance it a little bit. Good. Arabesque. Passe. Développé front. Extend passe. Take it back to arabesque. Step it back. High lunge. Warrior two. Reverse. Wind the arms. Knee to nose. Three-legged down dog. Walk it around and I'll find you in that flat top bridge. Move it in the bridge a bit. Dip that booty back. Fold forward. Taking our time, roll it back. Swim. Onto the belly. I love how smooth and slow this moves. Not leisurely though. A lot is going on. Good. Up dog. Down dog. Yes. Go ahead and sit on that right hip. Seated twist to the left. Keep going in that same direction. Left-legged pigeon pose. Maybe even double pigeon. Good. Back leg comes around. Onto the knees we go. Carry it back into that squat. Walk it front. Rise up. You're on the left side. Right away, arms up. Wind to the left. Spin it around. I'll meet you in that high lunge. Beautiful, you guys. Arabesque. Passe, extend, passe back. Warrior two. Reverse. Cartwheel, knee to nose, three-legged down dog. Walk it around. Find me in the flat top. Move, breathe, and fold when you're ready. Roll it back and swim it. Onto the left side, onto the belly. Up dog. And the down dog. Find the seated twist to the right. Keep going in that same direction. As you find the pigeon, carry that back leg front, all fours, undo, walk back, squat, two walks. Exploring every bit in between, rising up, and taking a breath to finish. Gorgeous. So now that we know the seamless yogance, it's time to explore it a little bit further. It always amazes me how far you can explore a yogance. It's never ending actually, really, because you can bring in all sorts of different breaths and textures and even different movements that might come in between the movements that you already know. You want to invite all that in and see what happens. Take this choreography and express it through your own body talk. I'm going to show you my version, and maybe you can share your version with me through Instagram. Go ahead and film your final flow. Post it, tag @Coutura. I want to check it out. I want to see it. And if you enjoyed this class, please tell your friends. The more, the merrier. And love you guys. That's all I got to say. One love.